Nationalism, a word we all have heard countless times, especially in the Papakayan subject. Nationalism is usually perceived as love for one's homeland. But nationalism can't always be perceived as positive just because it emphasizes one's love for their homeland. Sure, it is a good thing when done in a normal state, but when glorified, could be harmful and bring negative impact when escalated too far. Here we will explain why we regret the glorification on nationalism. We wouldn't say it's wrong, as it is once again could be a positive way to appreciate one's own country, when in a normal dose, of course. But the negative side, when it is glorified too far, the so-called nationalism, love for one's own country, could go on a next level of love, which is called chauvinism. Such level of love for a country could quickly become bad, as one feels their country is the most superior, the best, and everything nice, which could make them start thinking less of other countries as it would cause conflicts due to the statements they would make in the name of nationalism. A very good example of an overdose nationalism or chauvinism is Germany during Nazi Germany era or under Adolf Hitler's control. Whereas the Nazis' view is that the Germanics are the highest group of people in Germany during the period, and that other races such as the Jewish are less from them, and many were imprisoned, murdered, etc., just because they weren't considered a true Germanic. In short, an excessive nationalism would not just arise conflicts, but would increase racism and oppression to the minority too. Besides the first argument, a glorified nationalism could also make one turn a blind eye on their country's problems, simply because their country is the best. Perhaps they think the poverty, corruption, and way more issues that are happening isn't a real thing in their number one country's dictionary. Such nationalism would also benefit the corrupt more, making it a distraction, and those who dare to oppose them aren't nationalists that don't truly love their country. The amount of demonstrations happening could also greatly decrease if we imagine a situation where everyone is a nationalist. Since our country is already so great, why we don't have any protest to voice to the government? That is the mindset that the corrupts love dearly, which will let them enjoy the riches from the corruption more rather than improving anything. Simply say, this is for the sake of our country. When caught doing corruption, a nationalist or chauvinists would start cheering up and let them roam free. Lastly, this can also greatly affect international cooperation. If each country were huge nationalists of themselves, then they wouldn't even bother to interfere with others' issues, since they prioritize their own country's good than the others. With the our country shall be our priority, and therefore any other country doesn't matter to us mindset. Like imagine if Palestine was an overglorified nationalist country back in the 1940s, then they wouldn't even bother to recognize Indonesia's independence from Japan. Since the acknowledgement from Palestine, Egypt, and many more countries were crucial so Indonesia could truly gain their independence from the colonialism. Without other countries' acknowledgement, aka their care for other countries, we wouldn't be able to reach independence. Furthermore, glorified nationalism would decrease and even prevent the progression of international crises such as pandemics, economics, and many more. Imagine if during the COVID-19 pandemic, countries countries didn't work hard together to create a vaccine or help each other, especially helping China, which is the source and therefore has the most coronavirus patients. The international world wouldn't reach this state where we can count the status quo as free from the COVID-19 pandemic.